Hey, good morning and welcome. Patriot Radio News Hour. I'm Joe Jaquint, CEO of the Patriot Trading Group, and our toll-free number, 800-951-0592. As if you didn't know. The website at allamericangold.com, and welcome to Friday. What a trip to the Front Range. We have, I will tell you, so many great things are coming. We'll be making, I think, a bunch of announcements over the next couple of weeks. But a lot of great things happening all over the place, not only for Patriot, but for the radio station. And I just couldn't be happier. Jason will be back Tuesday because Monday's the holiday. It's so, you get so busy and you forget that it was even happening. I got Rick Rodriguez reminded me, I think late Wednesday, and then Ramon, our producer in Phoenix, he texted me yesterday and said, hey, you do know that Monday's the holiday. And I was like, oh, yeah. So I'd like to just let everybody know we will be closed on Monday. Jason and I will be back. I'll be back in Phoenix, and we'll be rocking and rolling. And can you say relief rally? That's what we have going on. Gold is up big. Silver's up. Wall Street's up. We got the government jobs number, and man, was it was a doozy. 315,000 people got a new job, which was in line. I don't know, maybe. Right, because it's so seasonally adjusted, we're not really sure because they don't want to use actual numbers. I mean, we have actual numbers. Why not use those? Oh no, because we want to smooth it out. Because let's face it, we're not intelligent enough to understand the complexities of the job market, because certain times a year you hire more, holiday time, stuff like that. But we're not smart enough. We can't figure it out. So they got to smooth it out. But 315,000, but here was the interesting part. Unemployment rate went up. Matter of fact, went up a couple of tenths. Which is unusual, because that's, 315,000 is a big number. Normally, the unemployment rate would fall. It went up 0.2%. And then, of course, wages. This is something, remember the last report, I told everyone, man, that wage number is way too hot. We're going to get 0.75 point. It was a little cooler, but not that much, but a little bit. Wages still running well over 5%. Here's the sad part. Right, they admit to inflation of 8 or 9%. We know it's much more than that, right? We know it's probably double that. Wages, how about 5? Right? So again, everyone getting a little poorer. That's just how this works. Listen, this is how a debt money system works. You just get, hey, but listen, let me give you good news, because it's Friday, baby. Let me give you some good news. It was just a little bit. I mean, if you call, I don't know, right? If you call 10% a little bit, hey, you made more money, but prices went up a lot faster than the money we made, so you're just a little bit poorer. It's okay. You'll be okay. Don't worry. I'm sure the government's going to come up with a plan to give you some money soon, right? They'll send you a check here any minute. Don't you worry. You get poor enough, the government will come and give you all a check. It'll be okay. That's why you call. That's why you get your gold put away, because you know how idiotic these statements truly are. 800-951-0592. Gold's up a 20 spot right now. Almost 17.20. 17.19. Silver up 46 cents. 18, almost 18.30. And we've beaten that silver horse to death. By the way, those rolls of silver quarters, I'm pretending I'm not seeing this. I'm blind today. They were on sale yesterday for $210. I'm leaving them there today. Pick them up, because we all know how ridiculous $18 silver really is. But again, it's paper silver. So if they don't want to pay attention to what is happening in the physical markets, then I guess you can believe, because go out and try to buy any silver anywhere for $18. See how you do. See how you do. When we get back, how bad is this energy crisis going to get? We've done the reports. We know about what's happening in Europe. The UK is on the precipice of having just unheard of business closures. This affects us. They'd like to, oh no, that's way over there, all across the pond. That's in the UK. That's not America. Well, when banks were small, that used to be true. But that's not the world we live in today. Nope. Oh, we got the world, the mega banks, and we're all tied together. When these debt payments don't get paid, it is going to have a very pronounced effect. But even right here in Colorado, we know about California. We hear about Texas. Every once in a while, we get threats on the east. Well, guess what, Colorado? How about the power company just takes over your thermostat? Yeah, we're going to talk about that next. Patriot Radio News Hour. Don't touch that dial. 800-951-0592. So quarter rolls. That's 40 silver quarters. $210 a roll. $20 gold. Yesterday we ran them on sale, $2,050. Gold's up 20. Tell you what, $2,050. Right? Take advantage here. We got a relief rally happening on the reason why they're excited. It wasn't the 315 in jobs. That was too much for them. They didn't like that. But they liked the unemployment rate going up. So think about that, right? Hey, what a great thing. Look at the unemployment rate's going up. And they did let's not lie. They liked that your wages aren't keeping up with inflation. Those are good signs for them. This is how evil they are. This is why we can't have a central bank. This is why we should be screaming from the rooftops to end the Fed, because this is what their policy does. This is what fiat money does. I mean, this isn't a maybe. This isn't a conspiracy theory. This isn't Joe Jaquint making this up. I know. Read a book. That's all I'm saying. Read a book. They've written about it. All of them have written books. They all will tell you the death of cash, the end of fiat money. Listen, fiat money always goes to zero. You know what's really interesting is, do you know the first place fiat money came into existence? It happened to be in China. You have the Ming Dynasty in like the 1200s or something was the first time fiat money ever came about. Do you know why our founding fathers wanted our money to be gold and silver? Do you know why? All of them, with the exception of Alexander Hamilton and a couple of others. But really, when you think about our founding fathers, and I'm not just talking about the guys you know about in the history books, but these guys that were signing the Declaration of Independence, right? All of these guys. The vast majority of them warned about the money changers. That was their word for banker back then, the money changer, the bankers. And again, this is how they change history. We talk a lot on other shows about what's going on in our public school system and the disgust that's happening in those systems. But they also want to reshape history, like the Boston Tea Party. Right? Had nothing to do with tea. Had nothing to do with them dressing up like Indians and taxation without representation. All sounded really good. But really what it was about was England had the colonies go to paper scrip. So back then, you got to remember, money had value back then. A silver coin was big money. Right? And a lot of the transactions were done in silver. Some of it was done in gold, but gold, you're a wealthy guy, you're carrying around gold in your pocket. And they said to the colonist, hey, we're not going to do business in gold and silver. You need to take your gold and silver to the money changer, to the bank, and you need to get this script, and we'll exchange the script. So script, Federal Reserve notes that are in your wallet. That's what we're talking about. Just back in the 1700s time. And so the colonists, hey, okay, that's what we got to do. That's what they did. So they got rid of all their gold and silver, and then the kingdom decided, hey, you know what? We got this script everywhere. We're getting rid of that. You guys need to now use gold and silver, and essentially would not take their script. That's why the Boston Tea Party happened. That's why the Constitution says our money should be gold and silver. That's why they told us, don't let the bankers get in charge. But yet here we are. And this is what fiat money does. Fiat money over time, it's a big Ponzi scheme. And eventually they create so much of it, it becomes worthless. I mean, think about the pound today. Right? You think the people, and not just the pound, but all over the euro, right? You think that people in England, in Ireland, in Scotland, in Germany, in Poland, in France, you think their currency has value today? When they get a power bill that used to be, 1,000 pounds and is now 10,000 pounds? That's what happens when you print too much money. And obviously, no one prints more money than people here at home. How about right here in Colorado? On Tuesday, Xcel Energy, they are a big provider of power. Matter of fact, here at the radio station, we actually have two different power companies. One power company controls the power at our transmitter site, which is just a few miles away. And then another power company does here at the office, and it happens to be this company, Xcel. On Tuesday, it was in the 90s here in Colorado, and again, it's hot, that's warm. It's not, they've had hotter days, but they were having problems with the grid. And all of a sudden, they started taking over customers' thermostats. So as the customer's like, wow, man, it's getting hot. I gotta turn the air down. Xcel Energy was essentially leaving a little notice on their thermostat that said, hey, we are taking over. Your thermostat is being locked. In normal times, they've been able to override the lock, but not on Tuesday. And Xcel said that 22,000 customers' thermostats had been locked. And this is something I'm warning everybody in all the states, because we've got people listening all over the place. These power companies, they offer you incentives. Hey, sign up for this program. Or sign up for that program, and you can save some money. All the Xcel customers that signed up for the Colorado AC Rewards program were the ones that got locked out. Now, doesn't that sound like a great program? Boy, an air conditioner rewards program, right? Almost sounds like, hey, you run that AC, baby, we'll give you a reward. And what was the reward that all of these people volunteered for? Essentially was you got a $100 credit for enrolling. So think about this. They said, anybody that enrolls in this program, we're going to give you $100 off your bill. Okay. Then, if that wasn't enough, and $25 a year afterwards. All right, so think about this. Okay, so wait. I'm going to give you the ability to... Now, here's what the rewards program does. It gives them the ability to control your thermostat. That's right. So, for $100 for year one, okay, and then $25 For $25, you're giving your power company the ability to control your thermostat. And, of course, they told you, oh, well, it's probably never going to happen. Right? We're never going to take it over. And what they do is a lot of times they'll give a warning on the thermostat. Hey, it's getting close. If you can turn that thermostat up a couple of degrees because, the power, we're getting tight on power. But this is the first time they actually had to lock it. Get ready. I promise you this, we are not getting out of this any more than London, any more than what's going on in Ireland or Germany or France. All of these things are coming because, listen, we need to be able to accept paying more because that's what wind and solar mean. What do wind, solar, and electric cars mean? It means we've got to pay significantly more for energy. You want to take down a productive society, get rid of cheap energy. And that's exactly what is happening. And it's amazing that 22,000 people, and I guarantee you nobody really understood. Right? I'm sure, and I don't know because I'm not here, but I wonder where was it in the fine print? Did they spell it out that, hey, by the way, we're going to, for $25 a year, you're getting us the ability, we get to control your thermostat. Could you imagine in the winter? That's one thing, the summertime. Could you imagine in the winter? Oh, wait a minute, I'm sorry, It's 10 below outside, but you can't set that thermostat above 60 degrees because that's what's happening in Europe right now. This winter, they can't go above 60 degrees. So, again, obviously, the power utilities, they knew this was coming. Why do you think they came up with this program? You think they sat there, in their conference room one day and said, man, we got so much power. We should just be good guys and let's give these people some money. How about $100 for the first month and then $25 after? Yeah, because we got way too much power and we're never going to use this. We're just out of the kindness of our hearts. We just want to give these people money back. That should probably be your first clue that we've got problems with power here. Now, maybe we're not where Europe is yet, but I think that's really the key word, yet. And why do I have the feeling that these little rewards programs, we're not even going to get that in the future. The future is going to be, hey, we're going to tell, we were the land of plenty. Right? If you wanted to have your AC at 68 degrees, knock yourself out. Hey, you're going to pay you're going to pay a lot more than the guy at 78, but go ahead. Not anymore. Not anymore. I mean, how far away are we? How much more does the Colorado River have to fall before they simply decide, hey, guess what? We're going to control everybody's thermostat. Right? And we're going to tell you how cool your house can be in the summer, how hot your house can be in the winter, right? All of these things are coming. And if you think they're not, that's okay. That's okay. You can continue to live with your head in the sand. This is what green energy means. This is why I've said for how long now you only had to have a grasp of fourth grade math to understand the ridiculousness that is wind and solar and electric cars. It's not, it's possible. Heck, we're going to do it. What they didn't tell you is at what cost. And really, the cost is serfdom. The cost is we're going to take another 10, 20, 30 million Americans and get them below the poverty line. We're going to make sure, right, what's the best way to control the people? What's the best way? Impoverishment. Give them just enough to get by. Make them dependent upon the government. Could you imagine the new government programs we're going to get? Right? We talk about the fact that there's, 43 to 50 million people on food stamps. How many people are going to be on energy assistance programs? Right? Because the power bills, I don't know if we're going to get to what's happening in the UK where the power bills went up 10 times. Could you imagine adding a zero to your power bill? Hey, my power bill's $300. Well, now it's $3,000. Whoops. That's a month. Patriot Radio News Hour. We'll be back after the break. 800-951-0592, Patriot Trading Group. That is our toll-free number. AllAmericanGold.com is the website. We're starting to get some more detail in today's jobs number. Just a few headlines. June's number was revised sharply lower. Remember, June was unexpectedly hot, almost 400,000 jobs. That one got revised all the way down to 293,000 jobs. And then in today's number, the 315,000. Really interesting, the breakdown. A huge drop in full-time employment. And that, I think, kind of makes sense because what I'm seeing from retailers, like we've heard from Walmart, we've heard from Best Buy, we've heard from companies like that TJ Maxx, that are saying, hey, sales are slowing, we're laying off people at corporate. But what that means at the stores is they start cutting hours, right? All of a sudden, hey, I was getting 40 hours a week, and now I'm getting 24. Right, I was getting 32 hours a week. Now I'm getting 18. And this is exactly what the jobs say. We hit a brand new all-time record high of the amount of people working more than one job. So just to give you an idea of what I'm talking about, part-time jobs surged by 413,000 in August. Full-time jobs fell by 242,000. So what the jobs number is saying is, hey, yep, they're still hiring. But the quality of the hire is way down. Hey, we want you to come and work part-time. The number of people working multiple jobs, and this is just really an indicator of where this jobs market is, now hit a new all-time record high. So we've never had people working more than one job ever before. But that's, again, now some of that, let's face it, that's exactly what they want. And they use the word, oh, look at all the flexibility you have. Yeah. See? You can be a taxi cab driver whenever you want. Yeah, isn't that great? Yeah, you can just taxi people around in your car whenever you'd like. Or, hey, you can work this job, and we've got these flexible hours. I mean, you can't work full time. But, we'll throw you 20 hours a week around your schedule. You tell us when you want to work, and yeah, you can sit at home on your computer and answer the phone. Isn't that wonderful? Now, we're not going to give you any benefits. Right? We're not going to give you a 401k. You're not going to get health insurance, right? You're not going to get any of that stuff. But don't worry, because, we'll pay you right around whatever the state, whatever, and every state's a little different. In Arizona, you got to pay about $15. Colorado seems like it's a little less, but not much. Maybe it's $13, something like that. I saw only one, so I've been all over here because my wife's in town, so we've been doing, just checking it out, and I've seen one sign for help wanted. And that was, they were looking for, I want to say it was food delivery, I believe it was, delivery drivers. and it was $12 and change plus tips. So I'm going to use that because it was the only one I saw. But these are the jobs. So this is, and again, soaring prices everywhere. All of a sudden now, yes, the headline number looked good. But when you peel it back, because what happens? Hey, I've got 2 jobs. I got 3 jobs. Pretty soon you run out of days, right? You run out of hours, right? You gotta sleep sometime, right? To be able to afford the bill. And like I said, the biggest drop in full-time employment that we've seen since they told everybody not to go to work, and it's really creating this horrible dynamic. And this is exactly what Jason and I have been warning everybody about. There's no way out of this. There's no soft landing. Oh, yes, the Fed, they're going to raise rates just enough. And then immediately stop. Listen, that's not where we're at. And everybody needs to understand this. They did not fix the financial crisis. They did not fix what happened in 2008. I know they say they did, but they didn't. Right? Through freedom of information. Think about this. They were so devious. And who am I talking? Who's they? The central bankers were so devious. Think about this. Janet Yellen, who was the head of the Fed at the time, and let me clarify that. After 2 years, we're allowed to ask for a Freedom of Information Act request of the central bank to say, okay, I know what you told everybody on CNBC. And I know what you told Maria Bartiromo over there on Fox. But now, I want to know what you really did. Okay, so I'm making a Freedom of Information Act request. So think to 2010. Freedom of Information Act request submitted. Janet Yellen and the central bankers go to the Supreme Court. And they tell the Supreme Court, hey, we can't tell them because we didn't fix it. And they can't know, because if they know, the whole system could come crashing down. They may go to J.P. Morgan and Citigroup and B of A and Wells Fargo and take out all their money. They may call EF. Well, he's probably not around there. They're going to call Charles Schwab, and they're going to say, sell my stocks. So the Supreme Court said, oh, man. Well, in that case, how about 10 years? We'll make them wait another 10 years. And that's exactly what happened. Now, is it coincidence that 10 years later, well, what does that make it? Oh, wait, that makes it 2020. Huh. What happened in 2020? Oh, that's right. It was COVID. So even though I was out here telling everybody what they did, everybody was too busy worrying about masks and shots and vaccines. Patriot Radio News Hour. What a great Friday. We'll be right back. 800-951-0592, Patriot Radio News Hour, allamericangold.com, and rolls of silver quarters. $210 a roll. Monday they'll be $220. Just now, of course, we'll be off on Monday, but back on Tuesday. $20 gold pieces. $2,050 at 800-951-0592. So two things, and be careful of what the media, the mainstream media, and the bankers won't tell you. See, that's a story. They want to control the narrative. Unfortunately for us, it's not the facts. As I was talking about before, the Freedom of Information Act request in 2010. They went all the way to the Supreme Court and said they can't know yet. And then, of course, when they finally were legally obligated to release it, and again, is a good enough reason, well, they'll be upset. They may take their money. That's a good enough reason. I mean, right? It wasn't national defense. Of course, the whole economy will collapse if they know. Because, see, what did we get after the financial crisis? Oh, that's right. We got Dodd-Frank, didn't we? Right? That was going to fix it. Silly, silly people. Dodd-Frank just said, hey, next time around, when they finally find out the truth, which isn't going to be till 2020, and by then we're going to have COVID come out, and they won't even know that it happened. All as we've said in Dodd-Frank, just simply put, is when the whole system crashes again, because we didn't fix it, when it all crashes down again, it's going to be a bail-in instead of a bailout. That's all we did, which really is code. What does that mean? That just means we're going to take the money from the depositors. That's it. This is why I keep telling you, don't have too much money in your bank account. Just don't do it. They're taking it. I just don't know when. When is I don't know, soon. And the digital currency will come to rescue us all. But just like the Freedom of Information Act in 2020, what we found out is that the central bank funneled another $17 trillion into the banking system. There was no approval from Congress. There was no Wall Street might not open. Right? There was no Jim Cramer. They know nothing. There was none of that. It's very quiet, behind the scenes. Jamie Dimon go out on TV and tell everybody how wonderful your bank is. And we find out 12 years after the fact. And I've said it all along. You know, it was surprisingly almost identical to the total deposits of the bank back then. You know, right now, there's about $19 trillion in deposits, just so you know. Just want you to be aware. Because I know that, but that's not what they said on TV. I know. I'm just telling you what they actually did. You can believe whatever story you want. Just like today, you can believe the jobs number, 315,000. See, most people don't know. There's two different jobs reports. One is done by the BLS, the Bureau of Labor Statistics. That's the one that told you 315,000 jobs today. The other one is the household survey. And the household survey, they actually call people. See, the BLS uses seasonally adjusted and who knows what. Fairy tale, magic dust, maybe some Montreal steak seasoning. I'm not sure. They throw maybe some sriracha, spice it up a little bit. Give it a little kick. The household survey, they just call people. Hey, how's work going? Did you lose your job? Oh, you lost your job. Oh, okay. Are you working full-time or part-time? Did you get another job? Right? Finding out some facts. Well, in the household survey, just so everybody knows, since March, they've said that there's been a decrease of 400,000 full-time jobs. And they said there's been an increase of 400,000 part-time jobs. And again, actually the number's like 390-something and 380s, but pretty much the same. Essentially what they've said is we've lost full-time jobs, we've gained the same number of full-time jobs. So essentially, according to us, the jobs number's gone nowhere. The Bureau of Labor Statistics says we've created 1.9 million jobs in the same time period. I don't know, you guess. Now, for me, if I was to guess, the truth's probably somewhere in the middle, right? We probably haven't created all the jobs they said we have. I don't know that we're flat. I'd like to believe that we are doing some hiring. But let's face it, the facts of the matter are the hiring hasn't been great. And the high-paying jobs, which has been the tech jobs, they're the ones doing all the laying off. And so just like how we learned about the Federal Reserve and how they lied to all of us in 2008, they're lying to us again. The only difference is now the size of the lie is so much bigger. Think about it. The debt was $10 trillion. The Fed's balance sheet was $700 billion. Now, between the balance sheet of the Fed and the national debt, it's $40 trillion. Don't worry. It'll be fine. Patriot Radio News Hour. Final segment coming up. 800-951-0592. Patriot Radio News Hour. allamericangold.com. We will be closed on Monday. Just to let everyone get a heads up. If you call the Patriot office on Monday, you'll get the voicemail. We'll return your call on Tuesday. If you want to order, you can always go out. You know what? Here's the great part. allamericangold.com. The shopping cart's open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Rolls of silver quarters. That's 40 pre-1965 silver quarters at $210 a roll. And then the pre-1933 $20 Liberties, actually 1866 to 1907 at $2,050. And as everybody knows, why do we like old gold more than gold bullion? The answer is really easy. It's the most private way to own gold. You can buy it, sell it, trade it. And I don't have to ask you for your Social Security number. And I don't have to issue you a 1099. Yeah, believe it or not, old gold, because the government considers it a collectible. You're on your honor. You're out there buying gold bars, I don't know, Maple Leafs or Krugerrands. You want to sell back more than $10,000. And here's the problem. You know what? 20 years ago, $10,000 was kind of a lot of money. Now, $10,000 doesn't even buy you a used car with 150,000 miles on it. You know what I'm saying? Right? Look at this. $10,000 doesn't even pay the coffee shop's power bill in England for 1 month today. But yeah, anything over 10 grand in bullion. Hey, love to buy it. Sure, I'll buy it. But before I do, hey, I need your name, I need your address, I'm going to need your Social Security number, and oh, by the way, I'm going to pay you a little less because I got to get my accountant to issue you a 1099, which is just a big pain in the you know what. You're going to avoid all of that. And how important is that going to be in the future? Yeah, really important. And just remember, they didn't fix it. This is what I'm telling you. They didn't fix it. They bailed them out and lied about it. And then they told everybody, hey, we're going to have a bail-in instead of a bailout. And most people, because, you know, if you only listen to the headlines, well, you thought, well, the government bailed out $720 billion. And the Fed, I don't know, the Fed did like $1 trillion. So, you know, and again, even that's, $2 trillion is still a lot of money. Wrong. They bailed them out. All said and done, they really bailed them out to the tune of about $20 trillion. Now, if you had known that, how happy would you have been with Dodd-Frank when they said, hey, it's going to be a bail-in instead? Do you really think they're hiring 87,000 IRS agents to go after billionaires? No. Matter of fact, if you actually read the legislation, they had a nice little carve-out for the billionaires. Oh, yeah, we're not going after you. Wink, nod, no. We're going to say that. Because you know what they're going to do? They're going to be going into bank accounts and saying, you've had a couple 100,000 in this bank for a long time. You don't need all of that. Here's a little bit. Here's some credits and we'll give you a non-marketable security that maybe you can sell sometime later. Put it into gold. 800-951-0592. God bless everybody. Enjoy the weekend. We'll be back on Tuesday